everyone, welcome back to Global Scope News with Mohsin Ali. And today we are diving into a massive political crisis that is rocking South Korea. The president of South Korea, Yoon Suk Yeol, is under intense pressure as his attempted martial law declaration and subsequent events have led to street protests, political turmoil, and even a looming impeachment vote. Trust me, this is a story you don't want to miss, and we will break down everything you need to know about what's going on. Before we dive in, make sure you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our major updates. Let's get it started with this shocking turn of events in South Korea. The political landscape in South Korea has been completely shaken by a series of dramatic and controversial moves by President Yoon. His recent attempt to impose martial law on the country has left many questions his leadership and his leaderships and commitments. The fact that he tried to place the country under emergency military rule in a democratic society is unbelievable. And it's now putting his presidency on the line. Here is what happened. On Tuesday night, Yoon made a surprising declaration that South Korea would be under martial law due to what he described as threats from anti-state forces and growing dangers from North Korea. The announcement was swift and caught many by surprise, especially within his own government. At first, it seemed like a dramatic response to external threats, but as the hours passed, it becomes clear that the martial law declaration had more to do with Yoon's internal political troubles than anything else. Let's pause and look at the background. President Yoon has been struggling with law approval waiting for quite some time. There have been corruption allegations surrounding his government, and his leadership with the opposition led legislation has been strained to the point where he has been labeled a lame duck leader. His inability to handle domestic issues, including the growing protest against his policies, pushed him to take extreme measures to try and maintain control. Now, fast forward to the events on Tuesday night. The martial law declaration was made with outrage from many quarters, including his own his own political allies. Within hours, members of the parliament and opposition lawmakers voted against the decree, rejecting it entirely. In fact, some lawmakers even went as far as claiming over and threats as to break thoughts security forces in order to convince in the National Assembly and avoid the decree. Imagine the level of cause and political disarray this created. The nation was in complete shock as the government's response to his martial law was nothing short of dramatic. just 6 hours after the martial law order was issued. Yoon was forced to roll back the decision. This quick reversal was a very clear sign that his own government and his own government had no clear plan or support for the martial law declaration. The public anger was palpable, and street protests erupted across the country. Particularly in Seoul, the capital, people took to the streets demanding Yoon's resignations. These protests have continued for days, with large crowds coming out to show their discontent. What makes this situation even worse for Yoon is the investigations that have now started. The National Police have launched an inquiry into his actions for insurrections, a charge that carries the death penalty under South Korean law. This is an incredibly serious allegation, and it's now very much clear that President Yoon's actions are being treated as not just an overreach, but as a potential violation of the law. In fact, the National Assembly has also begun its own investigation into the martial law declaration. In the aftermath of these shocking events, Yoon's defense minister Kim Yong resigned and took full responsibility for the declaration. It was actually Kim who had advised Yoon to declare martial law. But as the investigation revealed, few knew about the plan before it was made public. In fact, some military officials and government members only found out about the decree when it was announced on the news, leaving many of them completely unprepared for such a drastic move. It's clear that the entire government was caught off guard by Yoon's decisions, and this shows as severe lack of coordination within his administration. This military's role in this has also been controversial. Footage from the National Assembly showed lawmakers clashing with the soldiers who were sent to block them from entering the building. One moment that stood out was when a spokesperson for the opposition was seen grabbing a soldier's weapon in the middle of the scuffle. This scene sent a shock waves throughout the country, with many people now viewing the government's actions as a regression into authoritarianism. The opposition's Democratic Party has been at the forefront of pushing for Yoon's impeachment. They have tabled a motion to impeach the president, and this will now be put to a vote. If the motion passes, it will send shock waves through the South Korean political system. To succeed, the impeachment requires a two-thirds majority in the 300 seats parliament, which means that at least 8 members of Yoon's own party would have to vote in favor of the impeachment for it to pass. This is a critical point that we will have to wait and see if his own party members will turn against him. If the impeachment motion is approved, the president will be immediately suspended from office, and the Prime Minister would step in as the acting president. After this, a trial will be held, which could take up to 180 days. The Constitutional Court will review the case, and if at least 6 out of 9 members vote to sustain the impeachment, Yoon will be permanently removed from office. As the pressure builds, it's becoming very clear that the President Yoon may not survive this crisis. With protests continuing, investigations wrapping up, and his political base crumbling, his future as president is uncertain. Many are already wondering whether South Korea's political future will be marked by a change in leadership or if Yoon will manage to survive this political storm. So, what's next for South Korea and President Yoon Suk? Will Will he survive the impeachment attempt? Or is his presidency about to come to the abrupt end? The next few days will be very crucial as the impeachment votes draws near. Keep watching Global Scope News because we will be keeping you up to date on this developing story. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and ring the bell so you are always in the loop. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you in the next video with even more breaking news. Until the next video, take care.